Time for business news now. Stephen Carroll joins us for that. Stephen, going to start with the story of massive losses at a hedge fund that's impacting all sorts of big companies.
That's right. It's called Archegos Capital Management, a little known firm, I should say, in New York, but was run by a man who was once a star trader in the city. Bill Hwang's firm was worth more than $10 billion. But last week it emerged that the company was in financial trouble because it had bet wrong on which direction certain stocks were going to go in. So that led to banks selling off massive numbers of shares that they had held as a sort of collateral for Archegos as part of their investments. That meant big blocks of shares coming on the market all at the same time, which means that drives down share prices in those companies. We saw this play out, for example, in the shares of the media company Viacom CBS. Their shares lost half of their value over the past week.
So how big is the financial damage from this one?
It's going to run to billions of dollars. The Japanese bank Nomura and Swiss lender Credit Suisse both warned on Monday that they're facing significant losses. Their shares had slumped on Wall Street as a result. So you can see here Nomura down 14%, Credit Suisse down 11.5%. And it seems that even among the banks there was a fight to see who could sell their shares first when they discovered the troubles at Archegos. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, according to reports, got there first, and that's why we're not seeing their shares down by so much, even though they were tied into this whole affair.
What happens then to the hedge fund at the centre of it all?
So in a statement, the company Archegos said that it was a challenging time for them and said that all plans are being discussed as Mr. Hwang and the team determine the best path forwards. That doesn't tell us very much, but we do know the banks have been talking to regulators about what happened to this and how such big losses were able to materialise. The structure of the fund, what's called a family office, had something to do with it. It has limited oversight, and it's thought that a lot of these banks had invested with this fund because of Mr. Hwang's reputation, and they saw him as someone they wanted to put their money into. This comes as there is a broader discussion happening in the United States tomorrow about financial regulation and hedge funds' involvement in it. That's in the wake of the GameStop trading frenzy, something completely different, but this is bound to come up as well.
Okay, so a bad day for banks, Stephen, but what is happening overall on the markets?
So share market starting the days today in Europe, up across London, Paris and Frankfurt. French banks bouncing back after losses yesterday. Societe Generale and BNP Paribas starting the day up, although Credit Suisse's shares are down again in Zurich today. They had plunged on Monday. In Asia, shares generally trading up as well, just the Nikkei in Tokyo close to the flat line at the end of its trading day. Nomura shares there had been down slightly in trading too.
Let's move to Argentina next, where wine producers have gotten a bit of a boost during the pandemic.
Yeah, although the Mendoza region did see a drop in foreign visitors last year, some of those losses were made up by an increase in domestic tourism. Meanwhile, wine sales rose both in Argentina and abroad, as Catherine Viat now reports.
Mendoza is the heart of Argentina's wine production and its prized Malbec grape. It's also a popular tourist destination with foreigners, but with travel restricted because of the pandemic, Argentines are picking up the slack and heading to the vineyards.
Se ha logrado, el mendocino le ha gustado salir los fines de semana a las bodegas y ahora se ha empezado a sumar, básicamente Córdoba y Buenos Aires. Y empieza a moverse de nuevo el turismo.
The pandemic has also been good for domestic consumption. According to the Center for Economic Studies of Argentine Wineries, it rose 7.5% in 2020. Experts attribute the boost to Argentines stuck in lockdown, redirecting money they'd normally spend on restaurants or outings to buying wine. The industry also saw exports rise, with a weaker peso making Argentinian wines more appealing to European and U.S. markets. But economic challenges such as high inflation and currency devaluation remain.
Vivre dans une économie comme l'Argentine, c'est vivre avec des variables macroéconomiques qui vont dans tous les sens. Depuis maintenant 2 ans, avec une monnaie, avec le pesos qui se dévalue. Donc évidemment, quand on doit importer des biens de l'extérieur en dollars ou en euros, ça coûte beaucoup plus de pesos.
Still, wine growers remain optimistic, convinced the quality of their wines will see them through whatever challenge comes next.
Finally, from you, Stephen, there's a new brand of merchandise that's really been boosted by COVID-19 vaccinations.
That's right. Small designers have been rushing to cash in on the rapidly rising number of people who've gotten their COVID-19 shots, particularly in the United States. The platform Etsy has seen a jump in vaccine merchandise like badges or t-shirts that say the wearer has received their jab. They include ones that say, "I got the Dolly dose," to reference to Dolly Parton, whose donation had helped fund the development of the Moderna vaccine.
Baby got vaxxed. Stephen Carroll with the Business News, thanks a lot for that.